Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Carmen, churchofministry.org. Um, this video is about prophetic dreams. I'm calling them prophetic dreams because I've been having a reoccurring dream for many years now. I would say about 5, maybe 8 years, years now. And they had stopped for almost a year and a half. I stopped having this reoccurring dream. But it picked back up the other night. And I've been having it every night again. But it's stopping at the same point. And then there's a shift in the dream that kind of goes back to another part of the dream. Um, it's really strange, but I'll go over the dream. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you guys the dream and what's been happening in the dream. And then you comment and give me your explanations and pray to God about it, you know. Um, and He's going to interpret it for you because it's not just for me. And God's putting in my heart to put it into this video to release it to everyone. And I know it's prophetic because based on everything I've ever read in the Bible, anytime you get dreams and they're not good, they're usually true. But let me tell you about the dream. To start, I'm working as like a caterer. At the time, I'm wearing a tuxedo, you know, and I got this tray and I'm going around, you know, giving everybody hors d'oeuvres or trying to. No one's taking anything off the tray either. It's like really weird. Like I'm like walking right past, like hello, you know, and nobody's taking anything from the tray, and it's definitely it's not casual wear. It's for all formal wear event, whatever it is. And all the men are in tuxedos. All the women are in very nice dresses. And there's other servers like myself. And I decided to put the tray down. There's like statues in this hallway, like along the outside when you go out of the doors from this area where everybody's at. You go out and there's like a hallway, but it's an open hallway and there's large pillars, like giant pillars, and the ceiling is just high, really high. And this hallway goes all the way around like this, and then all the way around the circle. Like it comes like this, and then it goes out and it goes all the way around this big circle. And then in the center, there's this big like statue, or I don't know, maybe obelisk or something, with a giant water fountain. And the ground has these large tiles. They're like square tiles. They're huge. And there's some kind of pattern or design or something inlaid through them. Really beautiful. I mean, like historian kind of atmosphere. I don't know. I was thinking maybe I was in a museum or something. And in this dream, I'm outside and there's people throwing pennies into the well. And I hear this like loud noise, like a rumbling. And I look up and it's a beautiful day. It's, you know, barely a cloud in the sky and it's sunny and it's nice out. And this giant white rocket appears just over our heads. I mean, it's a little ways up in the air, but you can see it's a big rocket. And it's close enough to see the symbol on the side of it, which is a blue star. It's an all-white rocket with a blue star. And this thing explodes. Boom! And I swear, I'm thinking at the moment, oh man, I'm dead. But the energy is like this blue energy it releases, just goes right through me. Doesn't even knock me to the ground. Now, there are other people, they get knocked to the ground, you know? And I'm like, that's really strange that some people hit the ground, some people didn't. But I'm like freaking out at this point. I'm like, oh man, like, and for the longest time, for like a year, I woke up every time right after the bomb went off. I woke up like boom, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like, what was that? Wow, what was that? And I was trying to research different places around the world that had the similar tile patterns and, you know, the similar, you know, setup of the way the courtyard is. And the courtyard, I mean, it's huge. It's not like a regular courtyard. I mean, it's, you know, like football fields in length around in the circle. And I was trying to find it, and I found there's actually multiple places all around the world that have this, okay? So I didn't have any conclusive place. But when I looked up the blue star, there's common interest with Somalia or something. That every time I look, there's like a white flag with a blue star. And it's something to do with Somalia. And I saw a video clip where they were marching these rockets through through some city, and they had these giant white rockets with blue stars on them. As far as I know, I don't think they have the technology here in the United States. But who knows? Maybe they do. I don't know. But that was the first part of the dream. Okay. The second part of the dream, where it picked up after that, is I'm in the United States and I'm at somebody's house, and there's like rows of houses and two-story houses, and there's like weird like rumbling goes through again, and these giant like teardrop things, black teardrops. They're pretty big. They're about like this big around, and they're shaped like teardrops, and like teardrops. And then they fall down to the ground. Some of them hit the ground and they like configure, like transform, almost like a transformer, into a tank. Like the top comes up, sides flip, tracks come out, and it's fully armed. It just starts shooting everything on the ground. And then there's other ones that come down and they start to transform in midair, and they turn into jets and take off in different directions. And then there's other ones that hit the ground and they turn into helicopters, lift back off the ground, and all these things are like chasing people. Okay, and I'm running and I'm trying to get into the house, and this one robot, I close the door, robot or one of the tanks, it blows the door open. One of the helicopters comes in, I shoot it out of the air. We run up into the stairs, and I hear helicopters, and they're not like your average helicopters. These are like helicopters with like 4 propellers on them, like giant helicopters, and they're military all around in these helicopters. And they've got ladders they're dropping, and they're pulling people up. And once we're in the helicopters, we're okay. Everybody's fine. And the guy in the helicopter, one of the military guys, he says that our own equipment is malfunctioning, and these are drones, and the drones got the definition of infidel and insurgent incorrect, and everything that could pose a threat became a threat, and they just went crazy. They went haywire. So where they're trying to troubleshoot this, they're airlifting everyone to secure locations. Well, when they get us to the secure locations, they start to separate all of us by social security numbers. And they're going to put us on trains to go all these different directions and stuff. And it was really odd because I'm thinking, like, man, this is just crazy that they're going to separate all of us. And the people I was with, they get separated from me. And there were 2 females that I was with at the house that got picked up with me. It was one of my friends. It's all I remember in the dream. I don't remember the faces and all that. But we end up, getting separated, and that's where I got frustrated. I woke up again. So that was like the end. And this dream continued on for, I don't know, for another 6 months or so before the rest of it picked up again. And it was really strange, so I started looking up drones and different things, and I found out that the military does have a bunch of drones. I don't know if they transform or not, but they do look just like teardrops. And I thought that was really strange. And then the helicopter, or excuse me, the tank ones that go along the ground, I found identical ones to those. But it doesn't say that they transform from teardrops or anything, but they look identical. And that's actually in my description. That's the picture for this link. So I ended up having this dream again, and it picked up where we're being put on these, we're about to be put on these trains. I'm in this waiting area, and I hear all these people like growling, like they're fighting, like yelling and screaming, and just craziness. I mean, that's the only way I can explain it. And a lot of the people look like, you ever see those National Geographic videos where they show the gang members, tattoos all over their face and everywhere, and they just look crazy? Well, picture those people, but hundreds of thousands of them running at this military facility, hopping the fence. And like hopping the fence with like superhuman strength, like hitting the fence, grabbing the top of the razor wire and going over it like it wasn't even there, leaving their freaking hand on the fence, like crazy stuff. And they're running at the military, and the military shooting these, I'm just going to call them crazy wild beast things, just shooting them, and they're still coming and attacking these officers, not just like punching them or beating them up. They're literally grabbing them and pulling them in half. Pulling their arms off, pulling their legs off, pulling their heads off. Like crazy stuff. They're not eating them. They're just killing and then moving on to the next thing or next person. And they're not attacking each other. And I see this as an opportunity to run away, and I do. As soon as I see it happen, I run away, and I end up going through the woods, and I wake up. And that was like the third progression to the dream. Well, recently, the dream takes me back to where before I go into the houses, where the homes are before the drones attack. And it's just strange, but I'm actually at this, I don't know, some kind of event, and President Obama's there. It's strange. You know, in my dream, they're calling him President Obama, but he didn't look like Obama. You know, like there was no real designation of who this president was, but it was the president of the United States, okay? And this president declares that any flag flowing on United States soil that is not specifically supposed to be flowing by, you know, some kind of land, like if you're part of like the Boy Scouts of America, or you're a state or a city, you filed your petition paperwork with the government to fly your flag. And if you flew any flag that was not sanctioned to be flown on the United States, it was considered an act of terrorism, or it was considered an act of treason against the United States. Any flag that wasn't specifically supposed to be there. And if you flew like an Italian flag or a Mexican flag, and it wasn't, you weren't sanctioned as an ambassador or a safe house or a specific vehicle regarding and having the purpose by the Mexican government, the Italian government, or the United States to fly that flag, you were not allowed to fly it on United States soil. You'd be killed immediately if you fought that. And like the first thing they started to do to get this implemented before they just started killing people, to give people a grace period, they went around to like Italian America societies and all these different groups, even militia groups and stuff. And they went in and told them you cannot fly a flag if it's not petitioned properly. And they were making all this crazy paperwork. And then there was like a committee that would sit down and decide whether or not you could fly the flag. And if you wanted to fly an Italian flag, you had to get permission from Italy. And that paperwork had to be submitted to the Department of Immigration here in the United States. And it was just crazy. And this actually part of the dream just picked up like maybe, I don't know, like maybe 2 weeks ago. That's when I started having this dream. But when I wake up is when the government actually starts to go to homes that are flying the American flag. And if you're not sanctioned, you know, as an American stronghold, they killed you in the dream. And I just thought that was crazy. That's just like, wow. And all this happens just before the teardrop things happen in my dream. You know, I'm just piecing it together based on that, because it was the same kind of people that were around with the home situation were the same ones that are around in this other situation. So that's the dream. And I don't know how accurate it is to someone, but God's got to be putting it on here for a reason. So, you know, take your time and marinate on it, pray about it, give it to God, and see what he thinks about it. Maybe I just have wild and crazy dreams. If nothing else, it'd be a great movie. Hopefully it doesn't come true. None of it. And I thank y'all for tuning in. Have a great night. Peace.